Right below me is the beautiful city of Guadalajara. 11 kilometers from here is a destination I'm interested in visiting. It's called the Palacio Infantil, Infant's Palace, which has a remarkable history and it's very beautiful. This is the province of Guadalajara, La Mancha, which is the next province over from Madrid, which would be kind of like crossing from Northern California into Oregon or California into Nevada, or like when I was at Fort Campbell, Kentucky to Tennessee, which I used to cross every day. Anyway, it's really pretty here, but I don't think I'm going to go to the palace this afternoon. I think I'll start heading back towards MECO. What's really cool about being in a place like this is you can leave your bicycle unattended and walk away from it, and it'll still be there, unlike if you were in Madrid. So it's time to mount up and get moving. It's remarkable how peaceful it is here. I have my telephone set up to guide me into Guadalajara to the Palacio Infantil, but as I'm not going there, I turned it off and I thought that would be enough. But apparently, it's still trying to give me instruction. Alrighty, got that telephone instructions business out of the way. I like the verbal instructions that Google Maps gives, but right now, not necessary. I kind of wish the Garmin had audio commands, because on a bicycle, just like driving a car, one doesn't have a lot of time for looking at GPSs. And normally, in the car, I would be able to glance at it and it'd be okay. But on a bicycle, there's a lot to glance at, even if you're going a lot slower. I think the Garmin, the best feature about the Garmin is it tracks where you were. So the worst case scenario is you can backtrack and follow the same lines and you won't get lost. And I found that to be very useful. That doesn't mean I never get lost, but it's useful. If you don't get lost, you're not having enough fun. Anyway, La Mancha is a little different than Madrid, even though it's just next door. Geographically, it's pretty flat here, just like Madrid, but there are hills. The main thing is there's more farmland. Even though MECO is in Madrid, in the state of Madrid, it's very rural. But once you get further east, northeast, it gets even more rural, and I love it. I think sometimes I feel you could go halfway across this country and never have to be on a paved road. There is a little bicycle traffic, and that's kind of neat. I want to take a second and put the camera on my helmet. Even though this Insta360 Ace Pro has outstanding stabilization, bouncing it around on the handlebars is brutal to it. From what I've been able to ascertain, the stabilization on this camera is as good as anything on the market, but its main feature is low light. It's just brilliant. I've made videos in the evening where it seemed dark, at least dark to me, and when I looked at the videos, they were quite bright. Okay, how do I want to do this? One of the mistakes people make when they're out riding, and especially in rough environment where there's possibility of getting caught into rain ruts and mud, that sort of thing, is they look where they are and where they're directly ahead of them when they should be looking 40 and 50 meters ahead. It's kind of a hard thing to learn almost, because it's human nature to look where you're going because we're used to walking. But we're going a lot faster on a bicycle, and lining up where you want to be is equally as important as to where you are. Well, this is the bedroom community of Villa Nueva, and it's just gorgeous. And we're still in Guadalajara, La Mancha, and will be for a little while. I guess I could have turned over and went through the nice urban street there, but let's take the rural route. This is a hardtail, but with the 2.8 rear tire and suspension seat post, I think it's more comfortable than the factory setup of a 29er with a 2.25 inch tire. The idea was, of course, put a 27.5, 2.9, 2.8 inch tire, and that would about be the same level of a 29er 2.25, which would keep the bike in its original configuration, more or less. Excellent. So I'll start another video in MECO. Gotta run. Stop